Greetings and welcome to another episode of Sonic Odyssey, the video channel dedicated to bringing you the last 5 decades or so of music in review and discussion format. But before we get into today's album, let's take care of some housekeeping. The usual, you know the drill. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video through social media channels. You can share directly to your Facebook page or through Twitter or Instagram. Those are all popular formats of social communication that you can directly link this video to let your friends know that you've watched it. And also, please be sure to give a thought to visiting my Patreon page. I set up a Patreon page since I don't make any revenue through YouTube due to my usage of commercial music. So if you wish to continue seeing videos like this and can afford a couple of dollars a month, anything at all would be welcome. The Patreon page is there for you to donate as much as a couple of dollars a month, or you can go a little bit higher, have your name listed in the video at the end of the credits. Whatever is up to you, but please be sure to check out the Patreon page. And if you have any trouble with that or figuring it out, you can always leave me a comment in the comments section of the video and I'll be sure to respond to you. So please also comment on the video if you have something to say. Today we're looking at an album released in 1982. The genre is punk rock, and punk rock has been around for a pretty long time, and it's still around today, and it's still just as hardcore a scene as it has ever been. In fact, probably more hardcore than it was in its heyday in the late 1970s, early 1980s. Punk rock as a genre finds its roots in the garage sound that came out of the 1960s and kind of fully formed from the proto-punk sound of the early 1970s into what became the punk rock sound, with bands like the Ramones and the Sex Pistols and the Clash, all really early bands that got in on the punk rock movement and lumped into the category of punk rock. Today's band, the Dead Kennedys, formed in the 1970s. They formed in 1978 and released their first LP in 1980. But they also released a number of singles over those years up through 1982, and they released a total of 4 albums through 1985. Today we're looking at Plastic Surgery Disasters, which is the second LP from the Dead Kennedys, released in 1982. Let's kick things off with a song probably suited for our times if you're a conspiracy theorist. The song itself is called Government Flu.
We got a drug, we're gonna try that on you. We'll make you die, it'll get you just a little bit sick. Got a head cold, got a chest cold, and a two-day cold. Oh, not forever, make a heyday, make a lazy, got a crazy. For days and days and days and days and days and years. Well, they got the time now to stay on the job. Double up the else you didn't want to survive. Make you even sicker, you're slipping away.
As with much punk rock music, punk rock tends to focus on social elements and political elements primarily. They tend to have agendas that they want to push, and the Dead Kennedys were no different. Here in Government Flu, the government is the enemy. They are the ones who are spreading this virus through society and causing all sorts of mayhem. In one of the later verses of the song, they say, and I want to quote the lyric because I think it's a really good one. Slip it abroad, keep us slowing down the USSR, but meanwhile we'll keep an eye on what it's doing to you. And of course the USSR doesn't exist any longer, but the idea remains the same. Creating these disasters and dealing with it. Many of the songs, I guess many punk rock songs don't really age very well, especially when they deal with political points of view or social points of view that are very in the moment or relevant to the pop culture at the time. The Dead Kennedys, on their next album called Frankenchrist, would release a song called MTV Get Off the Air. Although MTV is still a channel that's going, it's a far cry from what MTV once was. But back to Plastic Surgery Disasters. It's full of songs that have a lot of social relevance or societal value or meaning behind what they're trying to promote as either something that is a societal ill. For example, they have a song about the preppy movement at the time, which was the young urban upstarts, the pre-yuppies, the preppies. And the lyrics to that song are all about the shallowness of and the vapidity of the values that someone in that lifestyle has. With lyrics like, I go to college, that makes me so cool, I live in a dorm and show off by the pool, I'm proud of my trophies like my empty beer cans stacked in rows up the wall to impress all my friends. They're trying to poke at the beast that is prevalent in society in society at their time. They also take shots at government and social norms and social values going through the times. One of the songs, that's another prescient song, is Riot. Don't know why I have a frog in my throat today. But the song Riot, perfect for our times, sort of for some of the things that have unfortunately have been unfolding. But the lyrics really get it right. They get it straight down on the mark. At one point in the song Riot, the lyrics go, The barricades spring up from nowhere, cops in helmets line the lines, shotguns prod into your bellies, the trigger fingers want an excuse, now. The raging mob has lost its nerve, there's more of us, but who goes first? No one dares to cross the line, the cops know that they've won. It's all over, but not quite, the pigs have just begun to fight. They club your heads and kick your teeth, police can riot all they please. So, still valuable words to today. And one of my personal favorites is another government conspiracy song. I Am the Owl is another song that deals with political conspiracy theorist type leanings on how the government uses surveillance systems and such to control the messaging and the overall breadth and scope of the government. And it begins with some fantastic lyrics. I am your plumber, no I never went away. I still bug your bedroom and pick up everything you say. It can be a boring job to monitor all day your excess talk. I hear when you're drinking and cheating on your lovely wife. I play tape recordings of you to my friends at night. When you've got a girl in bed with you, you're on candid camera. We just unelected you. So they really did a lot of very political, satirical messaging in their music. And lastly, we have the song that I'm going to play another sample from, a song called Halloween, which is one of the singles that was released from Plastic Surgery Disasters, but also has always been one of my favorite songs because it's about coming out, not just out of the closet as a gay man or a gay woman, but coming out and expressing yourself, feeling the freedom to be who you are, to not be strapped by society's restrictions or limitations that they want to strangle you with or limit you with. So let's give a quick listen to Halloween.
Feel like shining, and you feel like you're loose. Well, what you gonna play? Baby, better know, and you better plan. Better plan all day, better plan all week, better plan all month, better plan all year.
Halloween comes back with this fantastic verse later in the song. Why not every day are you so afraid? What will people say? And it repeats that, and it answers itself. It's not really so much a rhetorical question. Because your role's been planned for you, there's nothing you can do. And that's the point. He sees people as these cogs in a faceless machine. And this helps to point to that, breaking away, being independent and free. On Halloween, you can dress up and pretend to be anybody. Why can't you do that every day? Why can't every day be Halloween? Why can't you be who you are? or who it is that you want to be. How come you feel restricted and restrained by society's, norms pressing down upon you? So the Dead Kennedys album Plastic Surgery Disasters is a cyclical album. It begins with a little opening montage piece of what's pretty much just noise. I mean, it's bass, guitar, and drums, but it's presented in such a manner as to be kind of disturbing noise, and over which is a very gentle woman's voice asking you about your life and why you're the way you are, and if you just follow these instructions, we can show you how to change that. And then at the end of the album, it returns to that. After the last song, Moon Over Marin, it returns to that same cyclical ending. It has the same noise, instrumentation, and the same woman giving an outro. So that's pretty much Plastic Surgery Disasters. There's a lot more to it. I mean, the lyrics are just scathing screeds on social issues and political issues, but it really is beautifully done. And I hope that you'll consider giving Plastic Surgery Disasters by the Dead Kennedys from 1982 a listen. I give it about 4 stars. It's really tight, hardcore punk rock music. Definitely shows the maturity of the band. On Fresh Fruit for Rotting Vegetables, their first album, they were a much more hardcore band and shorter, blistering songs. But this album, they really expanded their musical variety and opened up a whole new door to their sound, bringing in song structure and making it more valuable to the presentation rather than just the vocal presentation. So that's about it. I thank you very much for spending your time with me, and if you enjoyed the video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and also consider visiting the Patreon page. Other than that, there's not much to do except say thank you very much again, and peace and goodbye.